guys, and welcome back to the Player YouTube channel. And what a lovely day, and what a lovely car. This is the Tesla Model S P100D, and we're going to show you all around it today. And my God, what a beautiful car. And it is ticking every box in my little black book. Let's take a look around. So here we are with the Model S from Tesla. Oh my God, I've actually done it. You know what a big petrol head I am. You know I love the smell of the engine. You know I love the petrol and the noise and everything. And I was so not wanting to do an electric car because I had the fear that this would do this to me and make me buzz like this because, oh my God, what a car. It is so stunning. I have never ever driven anything like it. Let's talk a little bit about the facts of this car. There are three different models. So we start with the 70D. Now the 70D itself is the smaller battery capacity, and we'll talk about range anxiety in a minute. The 100D, which is this one, is the bigger battery pack, and that will last a lot longer. The batteries are underneath the car. They create such a fantastic stability because they're so flat and long. They make the whole centre of gravity almost inch perfect. It's amazing. So the 100D gives you that extra mileage on your tank of electricity. And then there's a P version, and a lot of you have heard about the P version because you've seen it on Top Gear and on GT and all that. So ludicrous mode gives you that extra bit of power, and you can go all silly with it, but we're not going to talk about that because everyone else has done it. Let's talk about the bare bones of this car and why it's so good. Let's start with range anxiety. Range anxiety, what is that? Well, all of you have said to me, or all of you have not said to me, but have said, but it'll only do 100 miles on the tank. This will do 380 miles. Now let's break that down. It's quite simple. 380 miles, you're not going to do that in a week. The average driver does around 10,000 miles a year. Break that down, it's about 250 miles a week. I think you'll agree with me if you do the math. 380 is one charge. You'll still have charge left over to go and do whatever you want in an evening. If you do go away, there are 4,500 charging stations throughout the UK, which is fantastic. There's only 8,000 petrol stations, and within the next 2 years there'll be more charging stations than there are petrol stations, and they're in places like hotels, like this beautiful Hanbury Manor here in Hertfordshire. There's other ones locally within 5-6 miles, and some of them are these supercharged ones. They will charge this car to 80% of its capacity in 40 minutes. Now you're saying, well, I don't want to stand around for 40 minutes. Well, you're not going to have to, because if you're using this on a regular weekly basis, when you buy the car, Tesla give you a charger, and it actually looks like a petrol pump, and it's on the side of your garage. It can be put away discreetly, and that can just charge away whenever you pull home, and it will keep it nicely topped up, and it's very, very cheap to charge. Let's talk about the power of this car. So I've got rid of your range anxiety. You can see how beautiful the car is. Let's talk about the power, because this thing is very powerful. This has the two electric motors, and combined in BHP terms, brake horsepower, 611 brake horsepower. That's humongous. Newton meters, 660 Newton meters of torque. That's crazy. This thing will do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. And in the P model, in the ludicrous mode, it will do 2.2 seconds. That's nuts. Listen, I'm loving this car. I really don't want to take it back. I could use this as a day-to-day car. It's absolutely phenomenal. Let's get round it before I keep waffling on, and I'll tell you more about it when we get in. Round at the back of the Tesla S. Oh my God, it's still stunning. Look at this. It's got this massive chrome piece here, lovely Tesla badge. But there's no exhaust. But who cares? Because it just looks lovely. Right, let me show you. Key. Shape of a Tesla Model S, look at that. Nothing unusual, you're going to say. No, and it does everything that most keys do. So, but here it does get unusual because, as I said at the beginning, I've come along to the golf club today to have a round of golf, and I thought this is a great way to test this car because it's very unusual. I can actually put all this amount of kit in the car. If you come over here, you'll actually see how much kit I've got in here. My trolley with a battery and a full set, yes, a full set of clubs with all the woods still inside the bag. That's how big this boot is. This boot is so big, when you buy it, there's an option on this car. So it's currently got 5 seats, But if you want to add 2 more seats, but they're bearing in mind they're only kiddie seats. They're not going to be, you're not going to get adults in here because of the height, but you can actually fit 2 kiddie seats in here. This is the place here where all the charging kit is. It's very easy to access, pops open, and this is your charger. And it's a very simple thing to use. I'll explain that in another bit of the video in a second. But you also have the supercharging kit, which is the blue one. So when you're in a supercharging station, bang that in, everything's secure, lock the car up, go and have a cup of coffee, 40 minutes later, 80% charge. Then we've got the adapter here for your 13 amp plug. And I'm sure they do that for the European version as well. All that tucks neatly away in there. I have only had to do a trickle charge this week because we already had quite a bit of charge in the car. I topped it up. I think every hour that you're charging on the 13 amp, it charges by about 22 miles. So it's still not bad. Over 7 hours, you got yourself about another 150 miles of charge. And it's not expensive either. That's the whole thing about this car. Scuff guards on the back. The only thing I didn't like about it, it's got a bit of a lip here, but who cares? What a great boot. So, put the boot down and let's get round the front because there's a nice quirky little bit around there which I want to show you, which is really cool. Catch you in a sec. So round at the front, the extra boot, check it out. Again, using the key fob, double click, and it just lifts up really easily. Look at that. Now this is where this is great, because if you don't want to open up the boot and you've got other stuff in there, you've got 2 bags of shopping. Check this out, look at it, it's great. You just put your shopping in. There's plenty of room in there because there's no engines. It's just lovely. So we'll shut this down and then we're going to jump in the back because I really want to show you how much space this has got and the comfort level that you're going to experience from a car that starts from only £60,000. And I think for the tech and the look and what you're getting performance wise, no brainer. Spend the money, get one of these. Let's get in the back because you're going to see how lovely this car is. Right, I'm really excited to show you this because in the back of this car it gets better and better. Let's get in there, but before we do that, you'll notice I've got rid of the key. It's in my pocket, and this is quite a common thing. If you're walking back to the car, follow me, cameraman, because we're going to show you something really special here. I think this is rather cool. You don't want to be reaching for your keys. You've got 2 bags of shopping, or you might have the kid over your shoulder. With this, just walk near the car. It opens the doors, unlocks everything for you, and the car is now ready to go. Let's jump in the back because it's so stunning. In here is probably, I'm going to drop the window down for my cameraman so he can see. This is probably one of the most comfortable cars in the back I've ever sat in. Look at these ergonomic seats, how beautiful are they? But sitting here in this lovely, stunning white leather, oh, it's just amazing. I could sit here for hours, seriously. There's plenty of headroom, massive great panoramic roof in here, which can be changed in increments. You could actually set a percentage on how much you want the sunroof open. But let's also notice in here, in the middle seat, first of all, you're going to see there's no transmission. So it's completely flat, which means you can move across really lovely and easy. This middle seat is a proper middle seat. It's got loads, it's no different to either of these. It's just as comfortable. Independent heating controls. There's 2 USB ports for charging up your, all your gizmos and gadgets. It's just got everything, and it gets better and better because when we jump around the front and you see the tech that this car has, it's going to blow your mind. Catch up with you in a minute. We're up front and there's some amazing things in here. The first thing you're going to notice, and you've probably all seen it before, is the 17-inch touchscreen. I mean, it is just phenomenal, and I've purposely put at the bottom here, because it's a split screen, there's the player website, because this is Wi-Fi enabled, and it works just like any screen, any computer screen. It's probably the same size as a mini iPad, that. At the top here, we've obviously got the map, and it is also showing us where all the charging stations are locally to where we are, which is fantastic. You can swap around up the top here. We've got, there's the music, so we've got Spotify, we've got tuned in radio, I can play my phone for it, and then we've got DAB radio. So everything is on here. More fun about to come, because I'm going to show you some of the quirky bits. At the top here you'll see there's a Tesla logo. If you hit that, now you will see it will come up with the car that we're in. and in a few seconds you'll see all the lovely little lights floating around. These four, I beg your pardon. First of all, that's 007 mode, and you'll see there's the car from James Bond with the lovely Roger Moore, the underwater car. That resets all this. I'm not going to do it because it's a real pain to get it to go back again. There's a Martian one, and then my favourite, which you're really going to love, and I'm going to do it using the voice control system here. So stand by for this, you're going to love this. So I'm now going to speak ho, ho, ho. And any second wants me to try again. We'll go once more. Ready? Ho, ho, ho. Okay, so if you now look on the screen, I have Father Christmas.
Out of all the reindeers, you know you're the mastermind.
Luckily this only lasts for a couple of minutes. It's the Rudolph ho 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 mode or whatever it is, so I'll try and stop it actually. Right, while he's playing, I'll shout about the noise. In here we have, as you will see, a very, very large... It's Christmas all over again. There you go, it's all over. So we've got a lovely large, and these are cup, well, I presume they're cup holders. I mean, it's plenty of space in here. I love the way it all goes back nice and smooth. And in this one here, you tap forward, and yeah, again, inside I've got a 12 volt charging point there. I've got 2 USB points there as well. Absolutely brilliant inside there, and tucked away as well. And slide back here, 2 very smart cup holders, and this is a very comfortable. It's just the whole way it's been put together is fantastic. Look at the quality on the dashboard as well. The actual build quality of this car is superb. If you want to get to the glove box, there's a little button here. You push that, and there we go. It's a reasonable sized glove box. I wouldn't say it was the largest. And I've mentioned in the driving part of this, in case you don't see that bit, there are no door bins on this car. It's not the end of the world because we've got plenty of space here to put bottles of water, etc. This doesn't open. I think that maybe could have had a tip on it and we could have put something in there, but nevertheless a really nice thing. Right, let's concentrate on the screen because this is where the fun starts, and I promise not to play Father Christmas Rudolph again for you. Here we go. So with the touch of a button, controls, it's very easy. We start at the top. Sunroof, I mentioned earlier, you can actually open and close the sunroof to whatever percentage you want, and you'll see, oh, there we go, 61% sunroof opening to 61%. I don't see the point in it, but I love it. Moving down, suspension, so we can have the very high for a bit of off-road, high, standard, and then we've got a low mode as well. And if you need to jack it up for any reason, there's a jacking point there. Moving down again, well, just on the lower part of the screen, auto high beam, interior lighting. I mean, there is nothing they haven't thought of on this screen, and it is so intuitive. It's so very easy to work with. If you've ever used an iPad, this is just like a giant iPad in the car. Driving, we've got all the driving modes. This has a slip start as well. So if we're a little bit slippery on the road during the snow or in the wet, we can put a slip start on. Or if you're stuck in some mud, that will help. Loads of bits there. Cameraman's showing it to you now, which is great. Move down. Cold weather. Heated steering wheel. Heated front screen. Individually heated seats. They all come on. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Fantastic. And you can adjust them up and down as you go. Whoops. I'm going to turn them all off because it's the middle of the summer and we certainly don't want heated seats on. So, yeah, again, they have really thought of everything. These are all the trips, so that's your trip systems and everything you've done. Don't need to look at that. Then we've got brightness, interior brightness. What I did notice the other night I was driving the car, the screen at night is absolutely perfect. It's not glaring in your face like a lot of these modern screens are. It just sits there nice and ambient, and it's just pleasant. Down at the bottom there, so we've got all these different settings. We can change things and we can move over to other settings as well. It's a huge, big, intuitive thing. On the tunes, as I said, so we can go into a full tune system there. We've got the nav system, and then just simply to make it a full screen, you can just touch it and move it about, and it will. It's super stuff. I'm loving this car. Everything up here on the center console bit here, again, is very easy to read and simple to use. Volume button there, up and down, so simple. Change tracks, very simple. Over here is the voice control, and then there's your menu control. The sticks are from Mercedes, but I like that because I'm used to them, and that makes it simple when I jump in a car like this to understand how things work. So we've seen around, we've shown you everything on the screen, and well, the only last thing I wanted to show you, obviously, which is most important for me, is the player website. Yes, it's got Wi-Fi, so there's our website there. You can just click on that, and as I mentioned at the end, there's the YouTube icon there. Just click on there and you can go and subscribe to us, which would be marvellous.
So one of the most funky, cool little things about owning a Tesla is you get a Tesla app. And when I mean a Tesla app, this isn't just the normal app. This is intuitive. This actually recognises everything you want. iPhone, let's have a look at the app, because I don't think anyone else has done this, has actually shown the app. So I want to show the app to you. Take a look at this. So immediately you'll see on the screen, there's the Tesla sign. It's a nice red Tesla sign, and within a few seconds, there we go. It's linked up with the car. So immediately you can see it gives you the range that we've got at the moment. It gives me location, which is quite nice. I can skip backwards and forwards that. It tells me whether I'm charging. I can open up the charger port if I want to. At the same time, I've got controls for the boots, front and rear, which you already know about it. I can start the car. Now, if you're in a car park and you're looking for the car and it's late at night and you don't want to wake people up or you don't want to cause a nuisance, if I press flash, there you go. You can see the lights just flash away. So you'd find that very easily. Lovely LEDs, by the way. And if you're that stuck, I can press the horn and it will hoot for me, which is even better. So there's lots of bits and pieces on this. There's also a parking thing that you can use on here. This is not actually loaded on this one, but it will move the car for you with the touch of your finger. So well done, Tesla. We love apps. Right, let's get the Tesla Model S out on the road. Immediately you're going to notice it's dead quiet, but then that's what you'd expect because it's electric and there's no engine noise. There is a little bit of road noise. You can hear that from the tyres. Nothing that you wouldn't normally hear. And you also start to notice the wind because you don't normally hear it. There's normally an engine sound. But the actual build quality of this keeps the cockpit here so quiet. It's quite unbelievable. You've got everything you want. You've got that 17-inch screen in front of you. Once everything's set up, it's just simply amazing. Now, a couple of points to mention. First of all, obviously, being electric, you haven't got an annual service on the car. You're not going to be paying out £400 or £500 for new plugs and whatever you need, oil, etc. So that goes out the window. The only thing this car requires is software updates, and that makes this the only car in the world that when you buy, it can only get better. Because what Tesla do, they take feedback from all the Tesla owners and they enhance things that Tesla owners are telling them. So over a period of a few weeks, you'll get a software update. You don't have to do a thing. A little notification comes up on the screen and you can tell the car when you want that software update to actually happen, and it will do it all itself. So if you want it to happen at 2-3 in the morning, bosh, you just tap the screen, tell it 2-3 in the morning, do my software update while it's charging. Get up in the morning, it just tells you you've had a software update. It's absolutely mind-blowing. The rear screen is a little bit small. It's not detracting from anything in the car. I can see out the back quite clearly, but there is a limited bit of viewing. The pillar here is a little bit, it's slightly obtrusive, but I'm really nitpicking here. The only thing I will say is there aren't any door bins. I'm sort of used to that, but who cares? At the end of the day, there's plenty of room in this car in the centerpiece here. Put your water bottles, your coffee, whatever you need. The one lovely thing about this car is the pure comfort. The seats are so beautifully made and shaped. You can drive for hundreds and hundreds of miles and you will not be tired. They have another thing on this for the air conditioning. It basically, they've got some great names for things on this car, all sorts of things that go on. But basically the car, it has filters inside it that mean there could be a full-scale fire going on outside. You won't even smell it because it's just so clever the way it all works. There's tons of bits on here. I'm discovering things every 10 minutes. It's cheap to run. It's a beautiful looking car. It just ticks every box. I'm almost lost for words because I didn't think for 1 minute when I got to drive a Tesla I would be so smitten and blown away with everything it can do. The answer is, you can take my word for it, but if you want to pop into a Tesla garage, they will give you a drive in one of these. Just go and try it, because I think you're going to feel the same way as I do. It's mind-blowing. Or if you know somebody with a Tesla, get them to take you out in it, because it's such an experience just to try it. But it's going to be the norm in a few years, trust me. Listen, you've been watching The Player. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope I've given you a good detailed explanation of the Tesla Model S. There are plenty more in the range as well, and I'm hoping that Tesla will loan us a few more cars, guys. No, guys. A few more cars that we can get out and show you as well. Please, if you like what you're watching, smash the thumbs up button. You know the routine. And if you want to see more of these, then hit the subscribe button. If you can't see a subscribe button on the video you're watching, simple. Go to theplayer.co.uk. Very simple. Scroll down on the main screen to the bottom of the screen. You will see a YouTube icon. Just click on that. It will take you straight through to our subscription page, and just hit subscribe. Simple as. Thanks very much for watching. Safe driving. I'll catch you in a week's time with another supercar. I look forward to it.